Visiting the Anchor School in Zambia was a powerful experience. I was especially impressed with the dedication of the founders. As they opened up their home and we sat down for a meal together and began to dialogue about how Anchor started and what their vision was for the future, it was clear that this was the right fit for Child Impact, and this was a long-term partnership. Many of the children served are orphans, and through generous donations to the Where Needed Most Fund last year, we were able to fund the completion of what they have called the Child Impact Girls Dormitory. Previously, girls were sleeping 2 to 3 per bed, which was a violation of Zambia government COVID protocol, obviously. We were able to help Anchor come into compliance and provide the space necessary through the new Child Impact Girls Dormitory. One of the biggest surprises to me was the way that food is prepared for the children. As I stepped into the dark kitchen, because there's no electricity there, and I observed the way that the food was prepared, I was surprised. Wood is gathered from the property, which is becoming more and more scarce, and large amounts of food are prepared over a fire. You know, it's challenging enough to see this happening in a family setting, but we recognize that that may be possible. But on a large scale, they are trying to cook food over a fire without electricity of any kind. I also noticed that as this firewood has become depleted, that it would be an environmental challenge to them. I learned that their showers are taken by filling up a bucket of water, pumping it, filling it up, taking it to the shower area, and then just scooping out the water to take the shower. There's no running water there. And I believe that Anchor having solar power would be a blessing, such a blessing, as there's no electricity in their classrooms, their kitchen, the girls' dormitory. Being able to have running water and electricity would be such a blessing to them. There's much work that's needed to further support Anchor as they minister to 300 children. But right now we're asking you to consider sponsoring one or more children from this school. If you would like to sponsor a child from Anchor, in particular, at this location, please call our office at 423-910-0667. And if you also would have an interest in helping to further develop this campus, I can't hardly think of a more worthy project than what we find there at Anchor by providing solar power, running water for the showers and the toilets. I think it's a great long-term investment to help this family that has sacrificed so much to help all of these children. Thank you again for your willingness to be part of this project, and you can call our office to see how you can be involved at 423-910-0667.
When we got here, you could see that most of the children around would just be fishing from the big lake there and not going to school. So then I was concerned with my own children, because when I asked the government school nearby there was nothing. Children were not passing, they are not doing well. So then I thought of educating my own children in the house. Then people liked the program. What we are doing, because our boys were very intelligent. And so others started bringing their children here. I was teaching them from the house. But after some time, seeing the children just playing near the waters, then that's how I decided to open a school here. Now, what I noticed was that, because I could ask for some money, just for survival. Ask for some money from the kids. But then there were a number of children who couldn't pay by the end of the month. Then one day I decided to chase them, send them home. So after sending them home, then about 2 days later, an old lady, very, very old, she came with her children, 3 of them. And then she says, I just heard that you are doing very well here. The children are learning even Christian values. But then these children, both their parents died, both their grandparents died. So that was when I said, oh, I didn't know that they were orphans. In that case, I'll be teaching them, then teaching them freely. So that's how I talked to Kennedy, my husband. Asked him, say, maybe we can build a small house and let these children stay here so that we take care of them, we feed them as well. But Kennedy was concerned. He said, how do we feed them? We don't have the money. We don't have the capacity. How do we feed the children? Now, I just felt, well, an orphan belongs to everyone. So I'm sure God will open a way.
Anchor is the base where we want to grow and to expand more in life. At the moment, we are giving education to the young ones, orphans and the vulnerable children. In Zambia, we have the problem, especially to the children. Many people, they have died, and they have left the children. And these children, they cannot be taken care by their grandparents or relatives. So the Anchor vision is to help those so that they can have their good future through education.
At first, I had the aspiration to go and work out there, in a bigger organization, get paid, huge sums of money. But then with time, I came to realize that it is actually good to work around, serve the people around your community, those who are, in need. And I feel very happy as I interact with the kids, as I see them, get the education, get to know God, get baptized at church, and thereafter, see them become, from someone who has been suffering, they become, kids who are responsible, and society looks up to them as good children who can be able to contribute meaningfully in our country, in the church, and the entire world at large.
Greetings, friends. I'm here with Jason Churchwell, who is the Field Director for Child Impact International. Jason, I want to ask you a question. We just saw this video about Anchor. Why is child sponsorship so important to a school like this?
Sure, that's a great question, Tom. And I love child sponsorship. I'm a sponsor of some kids. I know you're a sponsor of kids. But child sponsorship really provides a sustainable investment in the school.
Okay.
Where we're able to collect donations and funding and send to them every month for those kids to be able to provide for them a Christian Seventh-day Adventist education.
So really, it's kind of a long-term stability that sponsorship provides. And I talked about some projects, and those are super important, and some people love to support projects, and Anchor needs your help. But sponsorship really helps us long-term know that this school can survive, really.
Exactly.
And what I love about Anchor is that it's a local family that is running this. I mean, they started with nothing, but they've tried all sorts of things. And tell me a little bit about what are they doing to try to help in this process of supporting these kids?
Sure, I love their entrepreneurial spirit at Anchor.
Okay.
So right now, we're renting 9 acres that we're farming tomatoes on.
Okay.
And so an incredible amount of tomatoes, you can imagine, on 9
Wow.
acres. But we're also looking at purchasing a large tract that's connected to Anchor, over 200 acres there, that will allow us to expand their farm, produce more food for the children living there, and provide more sustainable income to support the operations of the
How
school.
expensive is land in where Anchor's at in Zambia.
It's not too bad there
Okay.
for a tract that large. The difficult part is negotiating with the neighbors.
Trying to get the neighbors to agree.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things happening at Anchor.
Yes,
and
there
if you want to know the latest and how you can support, I want to encourage you to call Jason. Call our office, 423-910-0667, and ask for Jason. And he will fill you in with all the details. There's so many opportunities. And it's hard to think of a better investment, isn't it? Because I've even seen some of the projects we've done, they've come in under budget. When does that happen?
I mean, it's amazing. These guys will do an incredible job building, and they'll come to me and say, hey, we saved some money. We have some other ideas, some other entrepreneurial endeavors. Do you mind if we use it for that? And of course I say yes.
When does that happen, right?
Hardly
Have they ever gone over budget?
They never go over budget.
Yeah, it's incredible. So they're very resourceful. So we want to encourage sponsorship, first of all. So if someone watching would like to specifically support a child from Anchor, how would they do that?
It's a great question. So the first thing they can do is you can call our office at 423-910-0667, and they can request and say, hey, I'd love to sponsor a child from Anchor, from that video that I watched. The second thing they can do is you can go to our website at childimpact.org, and there you'll see all of the students in our sponsorship program, and you can select a country that you would like to sponsor a child from. And Anchor is located in Zambia. And so you can select Zambia and you will find kids from Anchor in Zambia.
Awesome. Will they find other kids from Zambia as well?
So Zambia is one of our partner countries where we actually have 2 schools.
Okay.
We have Riverside Farm Institute where we also sponsor kids from in Zambia.
Now, I believe both of these projects, it's our dream, it's our goal to add more children. How many more children at Anchor? How many more at Riverside?
That's a great question. So right now, we're currently sponsoring 50 children at Anchor, and we'd like to bring in another 50 at the school year when it begins in 2023.
Okay.
At Riverside, we have the opportunity to bring in 100 new students this next school year that we would love to put in our sponsorship program.
Can I just share, Jason, why we're able to bring in 100 new students at Riverside? It's because of donations that have come in from individuals like you who wanted to see opportunities where the need was greatest, to see response to those things. And so we've actually purchased 2 buses that allow us to transport children from the surrounding villages. And so what a tremendous evangelistic tool this is, to be able to minister all around this community and bring children in. So what happens if we can't find sponsors for all these kids?
Well,
we panic, right?
No, we try not to panic. We pray.
Okay. That's a good, different P word, right?
Yeah.
Pray instead of panic. Okay.
So what we'll do is we will commit to sponsor these kids. They'll get started on the first day of school, whether we have sponsors or not.
Oh boy.
After that, though, we hope to get sponsors as soon as possible.
Okay.
But we have a special fund called the Unsponsored Child Fund. And when donors give to that fund, that allows us to step into the gap to provide funding for these kids so they can get their uniforms, they can get their school books, their textbooks, and they can start school right away until we can get sponsors for them long term.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing these insights, Jason. I hope this has been helpful. And as I mentioned, if you would like to know further about how you can be engaged with Anchor in particular, please give Jason at our office a call. You have plenty of projects to share with them, I'm sure, and maybe somebody wants to buy that land. We'll see what happens.
That would be great.
Yeah, and help us negotiate, right?
That's right.
With those neighbors. All right, may God bless you. Thank you for your generosity.